here.
Yes, we are.
Oh, shit.
We're live, baby.
Yep.
We're not live, but you know what I mean. Live. Cheers to everybody.
Woo!
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is going to be a fun episode. I can feel it already.
Oh, Lord.
Yep. T,
Yes, sir.
thank you for being here again.
Yep. Did you do one last week or no?
Listen, I skipped last week. I didn't do one.
Oh, shit. So it's back to back me. All right. then.
Yeah, back to back. You. And I had a guess. It didn't happen.
Right.
Right. And I got into airsoft. And it's like, I did 18 episodes. I didn't miss a week.
Mhm.
Right. And it's a little. When this was the only thing on the agenda, it was fine. But then I got into airsoft and everything. So this, I don't want to say took a back seat to my priorities, but this became easy.
All right. Then.
You know me. I like a challenge. So this became easy. Airsoft was not easy. So now I want to make that easy
Fair enough.
and be proficient in that. So now I sat back and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not on my job. I'm not getting these guests because I'm not doing this for money or anything. So since this is for fun, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it when I do it.
All right, then. Welcome to the challenge.
Of?
This is the first time it's
I thought
not
you
one of
worked
your
for
people's.
MTV. What kind of challenge?
This is your first podcast with a guest that's not your own.
Correct.
Yes.
And here we have
Ossiana, nice to meet you.
Nice. And now, T told me about you because you modeled for him for
Sketch sessions.
sketch sessions, right? And it was like, he's here all the time, right?
Not all the
Obviously,
time.
I know.
I mean, sometimes
I'm
he comes
starting.
over for dinner, too.
Yeah, I mean,
You already threw you off your game. See? Challenge.
right?
Got him.
But I know his what sketch sessions in because I've known him since '96. So I've known him before sketch sessions and then during and then current, so on and so forth. But now, when he comes here, it's just banter. It's
Yes.
just regular shooting the shit, whatever. And but we touch base on sketch sessions, but we never really
Talked about it.
talked about it.
Right.
And you're allowed to move that mic if you want to bring it down.
All right.
You can do whatever you want to do. Right? So, and he was like, oh, you got to meet Olsen. I don't know. Oh, am I allowed to call that?
Yeah.
All right. Because that's what he. So, he's like, oh, you got to meet her. Da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, cool. And now you're here.
Yep.
How dope is that?
It is really dope.
Hell yeah. What I am intrigued with, he said that you wrote for a hip hop magazine.
Yes, I worked with hip hop since 1987. I've been on their podcast as well. Big shout out to Wild Tuna, Big Fish.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn, how'd you get into that?
Oh, he was a friend of a friend. Like, I have like a weird situation in my life where I keep running into rappers and I end up being their friend.
Yeah.
So like that's like how I ended up with we actually have a mutual friend, Ajax Beats. He's a lo-fi hip hop producer, drum and bass. He's done a lot of Concrete Jungle. So like I just end up like running into rappers and they end up being my friend. It's I don't know, they're just really cool people.
Yeah, and now for what article, what were you writing for the magazine?
Well,
Like on what level?
it's funny because like I was supposed to do a couple of write-ups about their Sex and Love podcast, I think, but I ended up just being on their podcast instead. And this was back when they first started their more after dark oriented podcast, and it was mostly about sex, how things work in the bedroom, all these different things. And their podcast was really interesting because I got to meet some amazing people. I got to meet people in the hip hop scene. We got to talk about dirty things.
Yeah.
Their studio is incredible, by the way. Like they have like signed portraits of like from Jay-Z and stuff like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it is 100% legit. And I was really blown away by some of the who's who I met there.
Wow.
Yeah, they're really amazing people.
That's crazy. So now, the articles did you write on that just on a sex and love aspect of hip hop?
Well, I actually we ended up having to shelve the article idea and I just ended up on their podcast.
Okay.
But when it comes to most of my writing topics, they do tend to be very sex oriented, simply because I used to be a fetish model, which is a type of sex worker. And I also write a lot about, like, you know, how to have sex in healthy ways, relationships. And eventually I also ended up working for a short period of time as the chief marketing officer of a webcam startup. So I've written for magazines like Critic. I've interviewed like major porn stars. So like they're kind of like my homies too.
Yeah.
And
That's almost like a rap industry.
Pretty much.
Oh,
It
100% is. It's funny that you mentioned that because a lot of the people who are in porn, they also do rap.
I'm assuming the guys.
And the girls.
That was sexist of me.
A little bit.
And I take that back.
A little bit.
I just can't see Rod Digger.
Now you just name dropping.
You know what I'm saying? I can't see Rod Digger being that nice and having to do whatever. But anyway.
I'll tell you one thing. Like, there's a couple of girls in the porn industry who I know can rap pretty damn well. Misty Stone, Lasha Lane. She's one of my closest friends. She can throw down.
That's crazy. Oh shit. Because I feel like it's the same pressure almost. You get what I'm saying? Because you still gotta perform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And trust me when I say the type of acting that they do definitely needs a sense of rhythm. Yeah. Because you don't want to see a bad video where it's just awkward and there's no rhythm to it. You're like, what is this? You got a 4K camera. The budget is
On point.
but you guys are out here just willy-nilly smacking around all over the place and it doesn't even make sense. Yeah, the acting. Oh, yeah. And you ever seen bad acting? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't want to name names, but I've seen some pretty horrible porn. Like,
It's so
really
bad. It's almost comedic. Like, listen, I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I could probably have an hour set on just how funny that shit is. Like,
Ooh.
you get what I'm saying? Like, just the thought that, like, you think we're this dumb, that it's like you're willing to be like, somebody had to edit the video, is what I'm saying. And they sat there.
Yeah.
The editor probably doesn't even watch porn, right? And he's just in there like, oh, Jesus, here we go.
That's really common, actually. Like, when I first started working in the porn industry, I was like, oh, this is hot. After a while, I'm like, this is my friend's butthole. I can't look at this.
Yeah, you're just like,
You get numb to it.
Yeah, you do.
It becomes a job. It sounds all nice until you get behind the curtains. And
Everything
like,
becomes a job no matter what. Let's be real.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
like,
routine.
the desensitization is real. Like, I know that there's a couple of my friends who they are all about the porn. They're all about, you know, banging everything. I am not one of those people.
Yeah.
Like, I went to AVN's last year, right before COVID hit. And, like, I was invited to a couple of private room parties.
Okay.
Primarily because they mistook me for a porn star, which, okay, I guess if you're drunk enough, you know. But the thing is that, like, the parties, like, they were literally everything that you would expect from, like, watching the videos. Like, there were girls, like, grinding on each other in front of a bed. People were taking photos. There was an open bar.
It gets
Like,
wild.
and how. Unfortunately, yours truly had been burnt out by the past 2 days of partying, so I was like, okay, this is nice, I guess. Okay, hi, hello. I want some nachos. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Because you get, like you say, you get desensitized to it. It's like it's a job.
Yeah.
You know
You
what
do.
I mean? You don't look at it. I'm assuming. Yeah, you're just in there like for the first couple of runs. You're like, oh, it's exciting, and then you're like, oh my god, fucking Monday. You know what I mean? Everything. I love driving trucks, and I love the paychecks.
Right.
After a year, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. What's an excuse I could use to leave? I was waiting for Mondays when I got this job. Now I'm like, oh, fuck, Mondays. So that would be with anything exciting.
Anything.
Even this, I missed a week, but I'm going to double up. I'm going to drop this, and I'm going to do a solo.
Because I'm going to say this. It's like, if you do what you love, it's no longer a job. I call bullshit. A job is a job. I'm calling bullshit.
No, I'll agree. Like, I'm a writer full time. Writing is what I enjoy the most, but oh my god, when I have to write about putting up drywall, like, my head just wants to slam into a table a couple
Why
times.
you got to write that?
because that's one of my contracts, and it pays really freaking well. So if I want to get all the flashy clothing that I wear, I occasionally have to do those.
So wait, though. Do you know how to put up drywall?
Yeah.
Because of the article, or
Yep.
you just knew before?
So
you got to research.
I researched, and pretty much if I would not be able to do it from reading my article, then I don't assume that I could do it. So I have to go really in depth. I watch the videos. Yeah. I've become very good at maintaining my own apartment. In fact, like I just recently like helped my mom fix her dishwasher. But
Yeah.
yeah, like housewife of the year material right here.
I will say this though. I remember when you told me you had to write for a sports magazine, and I was like, oh no.
Oh.
You don't do sports?
Just like you don't do comic book movies.
Oh.
She had to write.
I'll quit.
She had
Guess
to
what?
write for it for a little bit, and when she told me that, I'm like, oh no.
But how do you get these different genres? Is that like a freelance type of thing? You work for like a
Yeah.
company? How does that work?
Well, for a while I was working for Vocal.media, which is a social media platform that is a lot like Medium. So you had like full-length articles, and I did the vast majority of the first articles on their site. So without me and without my SEO skills, they would not have been able to get to a high-ranking thing on Google. So I did that, and then I ended up doing the branded content. The branded content did everything from like sex to food to housewares. So I ended up having to become well-read on like a ton of things. They tried to explain sports to me, but after the third article, they gave up.
They give you 3 tries.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. That was a waste of time on their end.
First one I would have been done.
It is that bad.
It is that bad.
You read them?
No, when she told me this, we were at a Buffalo Wild Wings one time, and we were watching it was like a Iron Man competition on TV.
Oh no.
And she didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what kind of football is this? I'm like, oh no. Nope. Nope.
What kind of football is this?
Nope.
Oh.
And every time she brings up sports, I'm like, yeah, we're done. Yeah, we're not talking about this. I can't help you.
Oh shit.
I have my limits.
That's crazy.
Like I had one client who was like, you did so well on these home improvement articles. You did amazing on personal finance. Listen, I know you're not comfortable with sports, so let's just get you writing a couple of articles on the Giants and the Yankees. So I thought that they played each other. And, well, I couldn't make the teams match up, so I just invented some names. And I thought that this was going to be okay. It was not.
Wow. Is somebody gonna proofread it? Is there like an
Well,
editor?
they read it, and then they asked if this was a joke, and
She parodied. She made a parody. Oh my god. They were like, "Are you real?" Nah, come on, give us the real article.
I seen your work. I mean, come on. What's this?
And she's like, "No, this is the real article."
I thought that it made sense. It kind of sounded like it made sense to me. I don't really fully understand why people watch these things or do anything with it, so I just wrote something that I thought would be entertaining. And it did not work out very well.
I would like to
They
read
fired
it.
me. And that was the end of my career with that magazine.
Oh man. But that's the thing though. That was poor management from the top down.
True.
Because they should have known.
Yes.
I argued
on.
with them. I was like, I really don't think this is a good idea. And they're like, no, you're really smart. You'll be able to do this.
See, that's bad management.
Let's be real.
That's
It
bad
is.
management.
Because there's some things people just can't comprehend.
Yes.
Let's be real. And then you give them the jobs you know they can do.
That's like me having a comic book podcast.
We're not doing. Yeah, we're not going that route.
Bro,
we're not doing that
It
route.
would last 10 minutes.
Barely.
Barely 10 minutes.
I'll be throwing mics at you.
You would be. But imagine if I was supposed to be welcome to the comic book podcast. Me.
Yeah.
That would be her asking her to write sports.
Right.
So it's like not fair.
It's not fair.
That's like you telling me, hey Marcus, I need you to do a podcast about comic books, and you're the host. And I know nothing and I don't care about it either. So now I'm in here. Yeah, Spider-Man.
That. Watch your mouth.
Listen, who's your favorite comic book
I
character?
have a few actually. Spider-Man, Batman,
Top 3,
Nightcrawler.
because it's hard to make
I
a
just said
list.
it.
Who?
Spider-Man, Batman, Nightcrawler. You don't even know who
That sounds a
Nightcrawler
little.
is.
I don't know who that is,
Yeah,
but it
see?
sounds a little generic with the
How's it-
Spider-Man,
how-
Batman. How many
how's it-
mans is there?
A lot
Spider-Man,
of them.
There is a
Batman.
lot of them,
Next thing
actually.
you know, they're gonna be a Hulk man.
There's not a Hulk man.
There's not. I know, but
No.
there will be
There's a Hulk Lane.
once the woke culture gets to it,
There's a Hulk Lane. But
Oh,
not a
Lord.
Hulk. Yeah.
right?
Hulk man, Hulk woman,
Hulk
Hulk
woman.
non-binary
She-Hulk.
individual.
She-Hulk. She-Hulk, actually. She-Hulk.
Oh, she is there?
Yeah. They're actually making a movie of it.
When?
Next time I
When?
trip on ecstasy, apparently.
That was good. Oh, for real. But now, is that? Listen, we're not gonna go on a tangent. I see.
No, we're not.
This shit is already. See where I go with this comment. Look, that's what you should have told them when they asked you to write the sport article. You should have been like, listen. Off the rip, you should have been like, yo, you're bugging. Like,
That's what I pretty
stop
much
it.
told them. I was like, I really don't think this is a good idea, and I was like,
you got it.
they're like literally, no, you got it. You're highly intelligent. Just do a little bit of research. You'll be fine.
You're like, it didn't work out.
And I was
Is this
like,
a
oh.
joke? You're like, no, this is a legit article. I worked on this. They're like, did you? Oh no. Listen, sorry, also I'm gonna have to let you go.
That's pretty much what happened.
Like, I warned you.
Yeah, I warned you.
warned you. How am I getting let go?
I'll fall off the desk and collect workman's comp. I'll be like, oh shit. Right? I'll trip on a cable or something. So now you did that, right? And now, what made you want to be a writer?
It's really funny because when I was like at the height of my modeling career, I was getting increasingly like not with people like Terrance. Terrance actually viewed me as a person, but there was a lot of people who they didn't really see the smarter side of me, and that included stuff that was happening in my college, stuff that was happening just like in my social circles. They either saw me as like a dumb bimbo or they saw me as the weird kid. And what's interesting is that a lot of the stuff that I was reading online, primarily from a site that I ended up working for a while, Your Tango, I was reading their articles. I was like, wow, this actually speaks to me. This is like issues that I'm dealing with, especially in my dating life. So I started to write for free as a way of, just kind of venting to the world. And then
Like a vloggy kind of?
Yeah.
Like a vlog. And were you high school? Were you...
I was in college. I was on the verge of dropping out at that point.
Okay.
Um
I'm
yeah.
asking these questions just because I like to set a...
yeah.
picture
And then I
mind.
went on Fiverr and I started being like, you know what? I might as well make money from all the stuff I'm writing. So I told them I'll write a $1,000 article for $5. Like
Shit.
dirt cheap.
Oh, shit.
Next thing you know, I was making about $1,200 per month from that price range. So I became like
Damn, it pays that much to write?
I became extremely fast at writing, and that's still like one of my biggest pulls. So right now I make about 80K a year, give or take.
Off of writing?
Yeah.
But it's not easy. You gotta research. You gotta
It gets easier the more you do it.
Again, becomes a job.
Yeah.
correct. But steel sharpens steel.
True.
So it's not easy. I'm pretty sure.
But it's
when
worth
first-
it.
But
It's worth it.
you become proficient in
Yeah.
it. The same way I'm proficient in driving a truck. You're proficient in this. You're proficient in drawing. You're proficient in scheduling the sketch sessions. And you become proficient at anything that you
Yeah.
want to do, though.
Right.
If you don't want to do something, you're not going to be proficient
You're
in
not.
it.
No.
Yeah.
Because you're like, fuck, that's deadline. Wednesday at 7 p.m., fuck you. You get it by Friday. And then you're not going to work no more for
Right.
that person.
That's basically what happens. Like the risk of burning out, especially with the workload that I do, is ultra high. So if you don't like at least partially enjoy your job, you're gonna end up very, very quickly being like laid out, let go. I used to work for a salary. I don't anymore. I'm not sure if I'd ever actually go back into an office because the weird thing about me is that I noticed that working in an office and working with other people, it usually contributes to the burnout because there's all that politicking and stuff. Like I'm not that type of person. So I'd rather like just chill in my apartment, smoke some hookah and just type out on my own.
Yeah. In your own freedom of space and
Yeah.
your own energy. because I'm gonna get hug a tree status, right? But energy is real,
It is.
right?
It is.
Energy is real. I don't want my energy zapped from anybody.
Mhm.
I will delete myself from a situation if the energy isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if my mind state is altered or not. I could feel when the energy in the room is like,
Off.
oh, fuck this. I don't know it. It's like a subconscious thing that happens where I'm like, I'm fucking out of here. I'm not thinking of it. I'm just like, hey, what's up? But my body's like, get the fuck out of here, get the fuck out of here. And then I'm like, why is my feeling like this?
It's your second brain. They actually have scientific proof about that.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it anxiety real quick.
Like
but
what you have is like you have a secondary like sympathetic nervous system that's based around your stomach, which is why you get that weird feeling in the pit of your stomach.
Like school tests and like
Yeah.
DMV meetings
Like
in court.
what ends up happening is that your brain ends up registering a lot of subtle things that like on a conscious level you wouldn't take in. So example, like let's say that you go into a place in Newark, right? It's a sketchy ass place. Normally you're totally cool with this kind of place. This is something that happened to me actually. Then one of these days, you just something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You're like looking around, you're like, okay, there's a blacked out car over there. All right, well, that's kind of normal-ish, I guess. It's a rough part of Newark. You're like, you know what? Maybe I should get out of Dodge. 5 minutes later, you find cop cars going straight to the place. Guess what? That place was held up. There's something about the minor movements of the car and the movements of people around you that your subconscious, your gut feeling actually registers before your brain does. They had an entire book about this called The Gift of Fear.
I think I heard of that.
It's a legit thing. When you're picking up on it, when you're picking up on energy, you're doing yourself a favor. You're listening to your instinct. That's there for a reason.
I had something like that happen when we used to bike ride back in the day.
Yeah.
Remember that one of the last days we used to bike ride? I was leaving that house and my grandfather's dog was just whimpering and barking. I'm like, yo, he never does this when I take my bike out when we're leaving. So I told you guys that. I'm like, why is he fearing for me? This never happens. That whole day, we almost got killed 5 different times.
Was that the time you hit the fender when you almost bounced off?
No, that was Anjan.
That was Anjan.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Anjan, yeah. My bad. I know you're watching this.
I know
so
you're
yeah.
watching this. Shout out to the homie. We got stories with him. I almost want him on here.
He's gotta come from Connecticut though.
Oh, Connecticut ain't that far.
That's where
I'll
he is.
pay the gas and tolls. I got.
Are
him.
you?
I would.
All right, fair enough. All right.
Why'd you say
said
that
it.
like that? I don't like the way you said that.
Because it's on tape now.
Yeah, it is. I would though. But I don't like the way you said it. Like you doubted me. I mean, yeah, I'm pointing.
I did
at
doubt you a little bit. I did doubt you a little bit. Yeah.
I had enough of you. You're nice. You not so much.
Back to the actual was it the book of
Why Are We Friends? The book of Why Are We Friends? Because we should write that.
We should write that.
But anyway. Yeah, but I feel like the energy is.
Yeah,
So
it was off that day,
It was.
and we almost got each one of us almost ran into some kind of obstacle where we could have ended our life at that point. So it was kind of weird. That day was bad.
And I feel like animals know more than we know.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
their genetic code is still wild.
Mhm.
We're dumbed down. It's like
Survival instincts, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
we're done. We're done. We're not done because we got a potential of saving ourselves if you learn how to plant your own vegetables and grow your own food and learn how to harvest.
Bro, I'm barely litter box trained. Come on, give me some.
For real. Yeah, so now you get back, where were we? Now, the writing, if you have to do that, right? And because I write music, spoken word poetry. Before you guys, I don't know if you heard us arguing because the windows were open about hip hop, right?
I heard some shouting. I heard Terrance go, no. And I was like,
That was all him.
That was probably me.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, T. I'm like, what?
I'm like, oh shit, they're listening. There's people outside, T. Right? But I love language, right? Especially like the English language because I speak the English language. But I love words. I just love the way they sound, how you could put them together. Depending on, because everybody has ideas in their mind. Everybody paints a movie. I feel like my whole day is a movie, all day. Only I know the movie though. Nobody knows what I'm seeing. They don't know the movie that I'm watching because I'm the only star in the movie. Because I'm in my own movie. You're in your own movie. You're in your own movie. But now imagine if I had to put my movie into words and explain to you my movie. Now I got to take and use the English language to do it. Now I can make it simplistic or I can make it real intricate. And then there's that subtle thing where it's like, let me dumb it down because they're not going to understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So let me seem a little dumb just in case. And I did that with a long time with my music where I was like, that's too smart. They're not going to get it.
He used to come to me about his lyrics too. He was like, yo, T,
Is
how's
this
this
too
sound?
smart?
I'm like, you never asked me if it was too smart. You asked me if it sounded right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like you could say a line and it'd be like, I get it.
Because Lord knows if it was dumb, I would have told you.
Oh, yeah. You would do that. You piece of shit. No, right? Look what you did, you little jerk. Yeah, so, like, when it comes to writing, like, I can definitely write in that pattern. I don't know if I'd be able to write in an article pattern. You know what? I feel like I could. I just never did it. So I wonder if I can.
It's all about math. Everything that you see in writing tends to be a pattern. It even down to like the plots of books. You have like certain patterns when it comes to like a book with suspense. Okay, suspense works up. Here's the problem. Problem gets worse. Oh no, the characters look like they're not able to ever fix this problem. Magical solution. Thing
Three-act
plummets.
structure,
Climax,
basically. The
and
three-act
then-
structure.
Yeah.
So you write poetry, rhymes, you write articles. I literally write fantasy. So
Yep.
it's like 3 different writers,
You
3
write
different genres.
fantasy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've written like, well, you don't know that though. Shit, you never knew I wrote stories.
Well, shit. I guess I knew
See?
something about you that.
See, this is a problem with you.
I live in a geek world, so you know I had to write shit about comic books at one
don't
point.
tell
Dude,
me
he's
you
got a freaking
write
Spider-Man thing going on.
stories.
I used to write stories all the time.
That's like pretty much what all comic book geeks do.
Thank you.
Thank you. I
She gets
understand.
it.
I feel like I don't even know you anymore.
Oh, you know me.
Who are you?
I literally wrote a story when we worked together. I showed it to Danny. I didn't show it to you. But
That's your. Listen.
no, that sounds like a you
when we
problem,
get
not
off
me
air,
problem.
We're gonna have a discussion, bro.
That sounds like you problem, not
When
a
the
me
mics
problem.
turn off, me and you're gonna have a talk. All right. I don't like you holding information back from your family. All right. But yeah, but you're right. Go ahead, continue. I just threw me off because I'm mad. You didn't tell me, but everybody writes in their own way. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But like everything has a pattern. With poetry, it's rhythm. Some people, such as myself, who do not belong in porn because of our lack of rhythm sense, will not be very good at writing spoken word. I know because I've tried and everybody kind of just gave me an eyebrow raise and like, what the shit is this, Ossiana? But like, when it comes to articles, it's all about breaking down things into like bite-sized pieces. So you have headings where you can like zoom into like a specific question about the topic. You can do numbered lists
bullet
because
points.
the bullet points are really easy because people get their attention like drawn to the answer.
Let's see it.
Like it's like when it comes to 99.9% of the articles that I write, not all of them, but a decent amount of them, it's about simplifying things down to the point that like a 7th grader can understand it. So if you can do that, usually like it just takes like 1 or 2 really good formats to memorize, and then everything else just kind of falls into place.
Okay, now, do you write articles or do you feel, since you have to like simplify it, right? Because you have to simplify it because that's would be your job. Do you write articles that are not simplified or do you want to? You get what I mean? Like something in depth, like it might as well be a book. Like, you know what I mean?
I do that a lot. Most of the time when I have an article that's not simplified, it does end up being a ghostwritten book.
Okay.
So like I've written like compendiums about areas that are like paranormal. I've done that. I've done articles which involved some of the worst dates I've ever had.
Yep.
That one of them made my boss from my last office job just like burst into laughter. So I guess that one was okay. Oh Lord. But like it really depends on like what the goal of the article is, because some articles, they're there to entertain, some of them are there to provoke thoughts, but the majority of times when you have somebody searching something up on the internet, they just want an answer and they want it to be short,
Confirmation
sweet, and
bias.
it's
A
just
little bit, right?
a little bit, but it's also they want short, sweet, and to the point. For example, like let's say that, you know, I'm cooking something and I need to figure out how long a turkey stays in the oven.
I want to know.
I'm gonna search it up and I'm gonna be like, oh, it's 30 minutes per every pound after the first 1 or 2 pounds. Then I'm gonna be able to math it out. If you have an article that goes, well, the history of the turkey is
You're like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
exactly.
How did we go to the Nina, the Pinta, and Santa Maria? How long does a turkey stay in there?
Oh my God, you killed T.
Right? It's like
That was out of left field.
did Christopher Columbus land here?
You
or
don't
not?
even,
I
you don't even care.
shit.
Yo, you don't care. Yeah, so why'd you even bring that?
How long is a
up, though?
turkey? Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're right. You're right.
That's why I laughed. I'm like, what the?
Yeah. You're right though, because I'll be looking up things and I'll be like, all right, I got. And then I'm like, who the fuck cares what General? Why is it called General Sal? I don't care. How much cornstarch do I put in this sauce to make General Sal chicken?
Yeah, he's a chef.
Oh. Well, we have even more to talk about then.
All day, right? So now, but now this is how I feel though. Would you consider yourself a journalist or a writer? See, I don't know. How would you?
It depends on like what field I'm in, because sometimes I'll like work for Critic magazine and then I'm like interviewing porn stars. I'm finding out like the actual heartbeat of the industry behind the scenes.
That would be journalism.
That would be
Yes.
journalism.
Correct.
But if you're asking me if I think that like writing blog posts about how to cook a turkey is journalism, not so much.
Yeah. So I would, yeah. So depending on what you're writing is the label that you would put on the particular job. But overall, you would say, I'm a writer.
Yeah.
I'm a writer.
Yeah.
Whether I write a story, fiction, nonfiction, journalism, activism.
Expose. Yeah.
Now, do you feel in the era that we live in now, with the woke and the cancel culture, is it harder to write, regardless on what side you lean on? I don't care either way. I discussed. I don't care about anything. I do care about stuff, but I don't care.
I mean, it's kind of like how much of an extreme are you trying to cater to? Because like I like woke culture, and I think that a lot of the people who are getting canceled right now really freaking deserve it. Like I'm not gonna go and name names, but
Yeah.
there
I'm
was
gonna name a name. No, I'm sorry.
Name a
Sorry.
name. I want to know where you are, because I didn't even know you wrote stories. So you might as well keep shocking me.
But like my husband and I were really heavily involved in the EDM scene as well. Like that's my baby. I love my drum and bass. I love my hard style. I love my psytrance, and you know, just I like all the music genres in that umbrella. But the problem is that we had a mutual friend who recently got quote unquote canceled because he sexual assaulted a mutual friend of ours.
Okay.
And I'm sorry to say, dude deserved it.
Okay.
100% dude deserved it. But at the same time, you see people getting canceled for like things that sometimes they're just a neutral statement. And sometimes it's just something that's taken out of context. Well, guess what? It's all about context. And I think that for the most part, people are very understanding as long as you explain yourself and as long as you're coming from a place where, hey, you don't want to say something that makes you sound like a complete dick, you know?
Correct. But this is why I missed a week. One, I didn't get a guest, right?
Right.
I got lazy. But two, I was gonna do an episode on cancel. I love cancel culture.
We did one.
I love the idea of it. Not I love. I'm
Intrigued.
I'm intrigued
There
and
you go.
perplexed by it because so many levels to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna do it off the definition of the word context, right? And that was gonna be the premise of it. I was gonna start the episode with the definition of context, and then I got in my own head, right? And I was like, I was trying to make it like see what I meant before with like the English language, like I'm in my own movie. I was trying to figure out the movie. I already saw the movie.
You want to project to the world, basically.
Now I have to verbally say it live. I can't. This isn't like scripted. I don't write. I'm not reading a monologue. But I wanted to say things subliminally to where it could have been taken out of context. To see if it would be taken out of context on purpose.
As a writer, I'll tell you that if it can be taken out of context, it will be.
It will be.
100%.
It will
It's happened to me when I was talking about like how losing weight made me hate dating for a while. Like I was at my heaviest about 220.
Okay.
I'm about 180, 190 right now, because COVID got me eating a lot more food and not moving as much.
The world, yeah. Or some people don't. Some people got healthy. Some people, it's COVID.
Well, most people packed on the pounds. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
But at my lowest, in recent years, anyway. I was about 170 or so, and the way that people treated me when I was 220 was absolutely fucking appalling. Like, they wouldn't even want to be friends with me. No. They wouldn't want to be talking to me in a bar. And it's like, I'm still the same person deep down inside. Mm-hmm. I still have the same opinions. I still have, like, the same awesome, like, sense of humor and shit like that. But the fact that the packaging mattered so much, especially in the dating world, there was a very long time that I genuinely could not trust men to actually be good to me.
Mm-hmm. And you as you, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, I get it. It's a meat market, and you should just be thankful that your cut's being ordered. But at the same time...
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I'm so glad this is... I can't wait to listen back to this one. I don't listen to any of them. I'm going to listen back just to get that bar down. Oh, shit, that's a bar. Sorry. Continue?
Yeah, like...
Oh, that was deep.
Yeah, but like, it is a meat market. You have to be physically attracted. But when you get to the point where you don't even treat other people just because of their weight a certain way, you have to take a look at society and be like, okay, how is this considered to be acceptable? And why should somebody who lost the weight forgive people for the way that they treated beforehand? And that's pretty much like what that entire article was about. Oh my God. I might as well have been nailed up to a cross with some of those people. What? I had people privately messaging me and being like, well, maybe we just didn't want a fat fucker. Like, at least you got to control your weight.
Then fuck off, basically.
Or, like, I'd get, like, chubby chases and they'll be like, oh, you're sad. Well, you're still hot even though you're kind of fat. I'm like, okay.
That's the point.
That's not even candor. That's just, like, idiocy.
Yeah. Like... It was like, I was getting all those kinds of messages, and I was like, rather than think about how body positivity and how, having friends who are a larger weight might actually not be that horrible a thing, like, not every single friend of yours has to be an Instagram picture.
Correct.
And moreover, if you only want to treat people nicely simply because they're Instagrammable, just gonna point out, looks fade, so will yours. Not enough Botox in the world to cure that shit.
Yes.
And
you end up looking like Joan Rivers.
Oh, Joan Rivers was like the best. But anyway,
wow.
Like
That's the first impression I ever heard you do.
Joan Rivers is like my idol. I want to be her.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? Like, but she owned it. The thing is with Joan Rivers,
she did own it.
Say something to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she will roast you to the end of the earth. And you will not have enough comebacks unless you are a professional comedian.
Right.
And your skin better
genius.
be thick, bro. Because you're not messing with Joan Rivers. It's not. You're not.
But what I'm saying is, like, that context of that article was so explosive that it made a lot of people really angry.
It hit a lot of nerves.
Well, when you were writing it, did you think that was going to happen?
Yes, and I also have written about, like, my body count in terms of the bedroom. That one actually had to be pulled from multiple websites, because they were getting so many threatening, like, phone calls and emails from people.
Threatening?
Yeah.
Threatening as in bodily harm?
Yeah.
That's OD.
Yeah.
That's
like
extra.
Because your body count?
Yeah. Apparently most people can't handle a girl being like, yeah, I slept with a couple hundred people. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Nah.
It just drives them up the wall. And, like, that's one of those things where That's why a lot of the news that you want to hear or a lot of the opinions that you want to hear out there, they're never going to make the light of day because the people who tend to take those out of context get scary with it.
Talib Kweli. People act like they want the truth.
But they don't.
But the appearance of the truth is good enough. They don't want the proof.
Mm-hmm.
People are acting like they want the truth. But the appearance of the truth is good enough. They don't want the proof. You act like you want the truth.
You gonna say this again?
No. You know what? This is going well. This is not. This is not. This is going well.
I think it's going well.
Over here. You don't even need to be in here. You did your job. Skedaddle.
No, I did not.
I love you, bro. Anyway, but now, this isn't... All right. See, we're talking about cancel culture, and I'm afraid to get canceled.
From what? You haven't said anything negative? You haven't said anything
right? Because I'm thinking in my
derogatory?
head what I'm about to say. And it sucks because I don't want to censor myself because you know where my heart is at.
Right.
I don't care what you look like, where you're from. I'm tired of explaining it because I feel like somebody else might watch this one that didn't watch a previous one. And they're like, I don't know this person. And why is he saying this? If they didn't watch the rest. So I'm going to keep repeating it because it's my job now. Or it's a thing.
I'm going to point out
See?
something.
It's a job now.
If there's one thing I'll say about cancel culture, it's that a lot of what happened from 2016 to 2020 has emboldened me when it comes to my opinions, even the ones which are not necessarily the most popular, especially like when it comes to, hey, weight discrimination, hey, high body count, stuff like that. A lot of people say that they want the truth. A lot of people say that they can handle the truth. And a lot of people will give you blowback and they'll try to cancel you. Guess what? If they want to cancel you, let them. Because at the end of the day, guess what? They're going to be stuck in their echo chamber. You are not they're not your original target market.
Correct.
That's like number one of the marketing thing. Honestly, if you would have told me 10 years ago that a bunch of like racist punks from freaking, Breitbart magazine would have such a loyal readership, I would have been like, there's no way.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Proud Boys ain't a thing.
I would have straight up been like, if you were to tell me that a bunch of twerps who get beaten up while naming cereal boxes would be such a threat to this country, I would have told you no way. I straight up would have freaking laughed in your face. But here we are, and we're seeing this, and you realize, okay, for every person who sits there and gives you a blowback, there's going to be like at least 5 people who either will listen to it regardless, or who will, actually subscribe to it. And this is something that is across the board. Even the most heinous of opinions, there's going to be people out there who will sit there and back it up.
Correct.
Yeah.
It just pretty much matters how much like harassment, how much crap are you going to deal with in the meanwhile.
And are you willing to push through it?
Yeah. Honestly, I ran out of fucks to give sometime around 2019. So with me fresh out of fucks, I have gotten a lot more bitchy.
It just happened last year?
Yeah.
Shit, I ran out of fucks like 28.
You were born without fucks to give, all right? That's why you're my brother, bro. Because
This is
I was
facts.
trying to be a little more
facts.
humble.
No. I get it. I get it. What you were trying to do,
And you just
and
fucking
it was a
just
good
blew it.
attempt. But
You just fucking just
come on,
destroyed
bro.
that right off the
Who
bat.
you-
Yeah,
Everybody
fair
knows.
enough.
Everybody already sees this knows who you are. I got people that don't know.
For the people
you.
who don't know. I mean, I could
I
have sat
got
there and
people that
said,
watch this that don't know who you are. They're like, I want a friend like that.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, listen, I don't give a shit how you feel, but I do. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I care how you feel, but I don't give a fuck how you feel. You get what I'm saying?
This
I'm
is
gonna
a
tell you-
bromance right now.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah, and I hate comic books. It's childish. So no.
wow.
What?
Oh no.
Oh.
No.
Cancel.
No.
Let me tell you about one of my new hobbies.
My
'cause
fist about
this
to
is
cancel your
not
face.
Let me tell you about one of my new hobbies.
I
Because
knew
this
that
is
would
not
get
childish.
you right. I didn't know that was gonna get you. I knew that was gonna get. I didn't think that was gonna get you. Dang.
Again, watch your mouth.
That's when you pull the
Never know who's
physical
listening.
aid
You never know
and
who's
run.
listening.
No. I'm
These are
canceling
jokes.
you.
I'm gonna get an article written about you on podcast. I got like 10 people watching it, and I'm gonna have like 2. And it's probably my mom, and she's like, "Son, listen, I don't know why you said it was childish.
So let me
I
tell
know
you.
it was a joke, but
Let me tell you about one of the least childish hobbies that I have. So recently I went to a sex shop because Ossiana is as Ossiana does, and I already have a couple of crates of sex toys, but why not add some more?
yeah,
So I was there and I was like looking through the videos. I was like, oh, I know that chick, I know that chick, I know that dude, I knew that dude. And then I noticed some comic books and I bought them. And these are X-rated comic books. And then I found out that it appears to be, like, I'm not sure if this is actually the case, but it appears to be that they have some X-rated comic books made by the same people who made Archie.
I believe that.
I would believe that too.
Cherry Jubilee. And the thing is that I wanted to hate them, but they were so well written. I was like, oh my God, I need to collect these now. So now I have I'm working on getting.
Oh wait, you made a post about that like a while ago.
Yes, like I'm straight up obsessed with like adult comics now because they're like they get so snarky and they get like so many cultural references, especially the ones from like the 80s and the 70s. Like they had like one panel like where they were making a spoof on the Wizard of Oz. They had Church of the Subgenius with Bob Dobbs, the salesman icon, as the Wizard of Oz.
Oh shit.
And then they had another one where instead of Garfield, it was called Cherry Jubilee's Pussy, and it was a cat.
Garfield was a man though. Yeah. Who didn't like Garfield?
Apparently, you since you don't like comics.
No, Garfield, that's a cartoon. That's a cartoon.
Comic first.
Yep.
All right, well, that's not my problem.
Apparently, it is.
I saw it.
You literally just made it a problem like 5 minutes ago.
It is because you're a child. So no.
Listen.
Aren't you both the same age?
We are. We are.
Okay, well, you're a child then too.
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
I am.
children.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm
We're
younger
older than you.
I'm so happy. I was about to say, I'm so happy you're here so you can be the mediator finally once. Because one of these episodes, me and him are going to start brawling in front of the camera. Oh, I love this shit. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I'm having the time of my life.
Told you it would be
Once
good.
Again, thank you for being here.
Told you it would be good.
Now, this is no script, so we're just going off tangents. And I'm circling back because who gives a shit, right? Because whatever. Back to the cancel and the woke. I feel it can go both ways.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
You shouldn't cancel, but then it's like, all right, for example, there's Lizzo, the artist, right? She's a bigger girl. Mm-hmm. Big female. See, even that had me nervous right now. I said bigger girl.
Yeah.
Should I have said bigger female, bigger
Woman.
Lady,
Bigger
woman? Like what?
Bigger
What
person.
do I say? Bigger
BBW?
yeah, but see, like
I still ask the woman on context, so yeah.
it's still. Is it a woman, girl, lady, female? Like,
Ask
come
her
on.
her pronouns. I mean,
Like I get it. I
Yeah.
don't want to disrespect anybody, but it gets to the point. There's so many that it's like I can never be right. Like it's almost impossible to be cool.
oh no, like I definitely understand that. And there's definitely like a point where you just kind of sit there and you're like, okay, do I have to have like people just fill out a form and be like, okay,
Release.
like
Which I failed to sign
at one
last
of,
2 times.
at one of my last
Thank you.
at one of my last office jobs, this office job was particularly toxic because it was like walking into Devil Wears Prada mixed in with Mean Girls, and I was the odd man out there. Now a funny thing about my hair, which Terrance already knows, it does not have a normal texture for somebody of my race. And if I leave it untreated, it dreads up. Sometimes it's a little bit closer to fairy locks. Sometimes it's straight up like dreads.
Yeah.
Which, it's very unusual for somebody of my nationality, but it happens. Well, one day I was like, I'm going to wear my hair natural to work. Big mistake. Another girl who was Russian goes, Ossiana, why are you acting so racist? I'm like, what? She's like, you're wearing dreads. Don't you know how, like, culturally appropriating?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm just wearing my hair natural. I
I'm late.
I ran out of supplies to keep it, like,
On point.
But that's the thing. Keep it what?
like,
If you were
It's your normal,
2,000
basically. It's
years
your
ago,
normal,
you
but
would've
it's
had
not somebody else's
products,
normal, basically. That's
and
what
you
you're
would have
saying.
looked like this 2,000 years ago.
No,
Yeah.
she said she kept it to her normal, but it's not normal to other people. So she thinks she's
That's what I'm saying.
appropriating.
But she ran out of products, so
Right.
this is the product. This is the.
Outcome,
effect
yeah.
of the products,
Yeah.
which
and
is
like
chemically changing what would naturally happen. But what naturally happens, you have a problem. Well,
yeah.
they have a problem with
They-
what naturally would happen.
They were straight up just like looking for a reason to make me the bad guy at that point. And that's part of the reason why woke culture and cancel culture has such a blowback these days. Because I'll tell you one thing. Ever since I was sick, my hair has gotten a lot more like I don't want to use the word like nappy, but it's a lot more wiry. It's a lot more
Coarse.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super coarse. I mean, look,
Yeah.
you can even see it.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of conditioning. It takes sometimes like if it gets really out of control and I'm like really stressed out, I'm going to need to relax it.
Yeah.
And you know, if people who are like really into the like the woke culture and the cancel culture are trying to look for something, they're going to find something.
That's confirmation bias.
It's not even called confirmation bias at one point. It's pearl clutching. And
yes, it is.
And a lot of times what ends up happening is that they take very good causes that I personally believe in, and they just use them for their own gains. And it's something that's very insidious because we've seen this thing adapted on both the left and the right wing. So it turns out that a lot of it has to be people just sitting there and checking other people and being like, is this really actually that big an issue? That's the number one thing that we have to worry about, especially like the right wing in our country is like spiraling out of control, completely. They not only drank the Kool-Aid, they're asking for seconds while they're foaming at the mouth, with like people who are actually trying to make some progress and stand up for equal rights. We actually have to check each other and we have to police each other and be like, is this actually what the intention of the person was? Because sometimes the road to hell truly is paved with good intentions, you know?
That's a fact. That is a fact. And that is a part that's what I mean. Like, I understand body shaming is a thing.
Oh,
right?
and how?
But the reason I brought up Lizzo is what I'm saying. If you are a bigger woman, bigger man, whatever, right? Celebrate it. It's cool, whatever. But we should also celebrate the fact that it might not be healthy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so where do we draw the line in? I get it in loving yourself. I don't care what you look like. Love yourself. And nobody has the right to talk shit about who you love, what you look like, or none of that. But facts are facts.
True.
Now, if Lizzo went and got blood work and her doctor was like, yo, she's fine.
Healthy at any
then
size is a
okay.
thing.
But some people, let's say she did get blood work and she's 100% healthy. That does not mean that patient B, C, D can be that same
Weight and still be
lifestyle and
healthy.
weight
Yeah.
and be healthy.
Look at Ruben Studdard from
Yes.
back in the day. Like, he actually had to lose weight, even though he got famous when he was big.
Yes.
Same with Luther
Yeah.
Vandross.
But on that, I'm talking pure health reasons. I don't talk about.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
am I,
talking about
yeah.
Instagram followers and I'm talking about pure health, cholesterol, diabetes, and this and this and that.
As somebody who's on the thicker side of things, I'll tell you a little bit about what I think, because I have a very rough time with body image. I used to be anorexic. You know, I used to
There
be.
for that.
Yep. You saw me at
You were-
Yeah.
was it-
Yeah, I was there for that.
He saw me when I was 90
That's when I
pounds
first.
lighter.
That's when I first booked her.
Yeah, I was below a size 00 when he first booked me.
Wow.
So, like, I understand how brutal society is when it comes to picking apart people's bodies. The thing is that I realize that right now, I am medically overweight. I realize that it's fucking with my blood pressure. I know that it's not good for me, which is why I've started to actively catalog my food. I work out daily. I literally do what I can to mitigate it. But the thing is that there's a difference between shaming a person's body and being like, oh, you're fat, you're unattractive. Nobody needs that.
No. That I don't like that part.
The thing is that most people who are overweight, they are aware
that
they are.
And they want to change,
They're-
they just can't.
Don't need to be told
It's
that.
not that they can't.
No, yeah, I
It's
take
that they're
back.
not putting as much effort as they should. It takes a Herculean amount of effort to lose
Maintain
weight.
it.
Yeah. And like right now I'm like literally in the middle of trying to lose, like get back down to 150, 160. But I realize that there's a journey ahead of me. There's going to be a lot of work. The problem is that the way that body positivity works is that you have to actually still treat people like people.
Correct.
Like my ex before I married my husband, he was 380 pounds.
Yeah, I met him.
Wow.
And let me tell you
380?
something. That dude had a
Man, he's a
fucking
big dude.
wicked smile. He had a great personality.
He did.
And you know what? Go him. Fucking go him.
Yeah, no problem with his size, whatever. He was still just trying to be a genuine dude.
He was a genuine dude. Like we actually broke up because he ended up cheating on me with another girl because he was a girl magnet. Like a lot of women prefer the thicker dudes just as a lot of men prefer the thicker girls. The problem is that mainstream society and a lot of other, like even like in the fringes, like in the goth and in the kink scene, they tend to want to see stick thin people at any cost, and they assume that if a person's skinny that they're healthy. I've met
I
people
think opposite.
I've met people who have been perfectly average body weight but were the most unhealthy human beings I've ever seen in my life, both mentally and physically. So when people sit there and they talk about body shaming, it's not about, hey, you know, this isn't, you know, I'm rejecting this person because they're not the right weight for me or anything like that. It's about, hey, let's ignore the body and actually focus on the person.
Yes.
Because they can lose the weight. Right now, they could be losing the weight. Right now, they could be fat. In about 6 months from now, they could be real thin. You don't know. But what's going to stay stable with them, for the most part, is their personality. And if if you sit there and you reject people or you cast them out, or
bully, and their personality will suffer.
Their personality will suffer, and not only that, but they're going to remember that. People will always remember how you make them feel.
And you are literally one of the people I know who do that.
Who, me?
Yeah. You remember people who like treated you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I even called them out on it. And the deer in the headlights looks that I get sometimes, like, they don't expect me to call them out on it in public, and they don't expect me to call them out. Like, they're expecting, like, it's going to be all cool. No, homie. That is not how I play.
Yeah.
It should not be how anyone plays, because you know what? No one deserves to have a free pass to treat someone like shit. Doesn't matter how big they are. Doesn't matter what their teeth look like. Doesn't matter how bad their acne was. If you treat them like shit, you're the shit person. Your treatment of them does not reflect on their personality unless they did something to deserve it.
Correct. And I also feel like hurt people. So when I see somebody that's like a little bullyish,
Right.
before I'm like, this fucking asshole. In my head, I'm like, if I see somebody being an asshole, before I jump to the, hey, fuck you, guy, I'm like, what happened in this person's life? This is all going on within like, you know what I mean? Like, this is all
basically.
like,
It's all going like
in
going
my
right through your head before you say
because
something.
I don't want to be the wrong guy. Come to find out, this guy had a troubled life, and
Right.
then I also understand. Then it's like, oh shit, you went through what?
I don't know if I agree with that. See, I've had a very, very, very troubled life. Like, we're talking like multiple suicide attempts. We're talking about like me being in a psych ward troubled. We're talking about having exes who beat the crap out of me troubled. I still try my hardest to treat people with dignity.
Yeah, but that might be your.
No, like, trust me. My first instinct is to sock them in the face. But I still come out on top. Just because somebody had a hard life does not give them the right to treat other people like shit.
I don't think it gives them the right, but as a person, I don't think it gives them the right. They're still wrong for doing those actions.
You just want to know
Absolutely.
why they're being that way.
I would understand, not only understand as if I agree, but it makes sense why you are hurting people, because you were hurt. So I get it. I still think that you shouldn't hurt
a history
people.
of abuse, violence, just a history of like if you receive it, you want to dish it out.
Yes,
Basically,
you want to put it on somebody else.
On that
if you look at
aspect,
a bully
okay.
in school,
Shouldn't happen.
it shouldn't happen, and I'm totally against it. But if you look at a bully in school, if you were able to find what that bully's home life was like, he was getting bullied.
Oh yeah.
So there are
Shit
not
rolls
enough.
downhill.
Yes, shit rolls downhill, and it's snowball effect. Where now somebody else is gonna feel the pain that I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, if somebody gave that kid love, they're gonna feel what I feel. So somebody else is gonna feel love.
I don't
But
know.
if that
I
kid
didn't do
feels
that.
hate,
I didn't do that with my bullies.
No.
no,
Nah.
I'm saying, what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. You're right. I'm saying if a kid gets shown love,
They'll be much less likely to bully.
they're probably gonna reciprocate love. But if a kid gets shown hate, somebody has to pay for my hate.
I
Because
don't know.
I don't want to be alone in my hate.
Again.
No,
Again.
you're making leaps that
Have you
aren't
ever
there.
been bullied before?
Yeah.
And what'd you
Throw it in
do?
the closet. Throw it in the fucking closet, bro. All right? And it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun, all right?
Oh my god.
One time it happened, and I punched him in the dick. I punched him in the dick, and it was a wrap.
The old dick twist.
And that was it. It was all fun and game.
So it was one time then.
No, it was like
One time you've been bullied.
One or two times. It was the same guy. He just kept pushing me. I was real young, obviously, right? And it's like I'm like, oh, I didn't know what bullying was, right? I didn't know, bro. T, don't what me like you don't know.
I didn't know that actually.
When
This
you
is the
were
first
a little kid, bullying wasn't a thing. This is what I mean.
bullying was a thing. I knew I was being bullied.
No, but I'm saying it wasn't like this nowadays where it's like a bully.
No, you're right. It's not. But I knew I was being bullied back in the day.
I know
Ew.
I was being bullied, but the word bully, it was just childhood growing up shit.
The fuck
That's
it
the-
was.
This is where we disagree. Listen, you know what the problem is?
That you don't know what bully means?
No. This is the problem. Kids
Don't say kids will be kids.
are kids.
Honestly, I kind of agree with that. Like, the best way to stand up to a bully is to beat the ever-living crap out of them.
Yes.
I'm saying.
Yes, this is what I mean. So the first time, it was like, oh, this isn't fun. He's not a friend. Let me fucking finish, bro. I already see your mind churning. Right? I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna cut in here and be like, yo, if you treated somebody like shit earlier, fucking apologize before you act like everything is cool. Just straight up be like, I'm fucking
Very
sorry.
true.
My bad for that.
Yes.
There. That I think we can all agree on.
Yes.
That I do agree on.
Yes, absolutely.
And it was
'Cause-
like one or two times they did something. And the third time he threw me in the closet. This was like if I don't punch him in the dick, this is gonna continue. to
Now I
happen.
feel like I need to pick you up to see how much that kid lifted. Cause like
Oh, he was big. He
yup,
was fucking big.
bigger
Yo,
than me.
look how our sizes are now.
I'm talking
We were
about-
small. We're the
Yeah,
same height.
yeah.
We were small back in the
This
day.
is going into like I'm talking about this is probably
Small.
like first grade.
Oh,
I'm talking
Yeah,
third,
not
fourth, fifth,
old.
and sixth.
I was already cool later in life.
Third,
thank God,
fourth,
right?
fifth, and sixth.
Right? So
I was not that cool back then.
well,
I was not cool until
I didn't get bullied
joined
or
the
got
rave scene.
bullied. But
Got thrown in the closet.
and I punched him in the dick, and it was a wrap. And then he didn't do that again. He was like, "Oh shit." This is what I mean, though.
But here's the thing. All right, sorry to interrupt again.
No worries.
No, all right, cool. That shit didn't roll downhill. You made it stop after that.
Okay, but
That's where I'm going.
But
with.
this is what I mean. That I feel we have to be careful on how we coddle society to the point
Oh yeah.
where struggle and adversity is no longer a thing. People forget who we are genetically. It is too easy for us to be
yeah.
living with all this and
And the beer.
the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
To go back because our DNA would not conform to 2020.
You ever heard about snowplow parenting?
Snowplow parenting.
Oh, but I heard
Yeah.
about helicopters.
Oh,
parenting.
I know about that
I
one,
drove-
yeah.
I had
Fucking
helicopter
motherfucking
parenting.
snowplow.
I had helicopter parenting. We all saw how well that turned out.
Shout out to Mom Dukes and Pop Dukes.
Ugh.
No, I mean, you're an awesome person now.
I mean, yeah, I'm
Let's be
actually
real.
awesome. It's just that I ran away from home. So
The past is the past. It helped
Yeah.
you come to who you are now.
yeah, but like
It will be that last time.
snowplow parenting is a little bit different than helicopter because with a snowplow parent, they literally plow over anything that could be an obstacle for the kid. So
Oh shit.
So like things like, okay, little Johnny didn't get invited to this kid's birthday party. Well, guess what? The snowplow parents would call up the parents and be like, listen, you're gonna have to invite my kid. Otherwise you're gonna have a problem. Snowplow
That's what
parent.
I mean.
Sounds like
Or
a
like-
threat.
Oh,
It
yo,
will
have
be.
you hung out with mom groups or have you heard those bitches talk? Those bitches scare me. Like, I've been in the scariest parts of Newark, but I will not mess around with those blonde suburban soccer moms because I don't know what's going on in their head.
Next thing you know, you're on CNN. Wolf Blitz is talking to you. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like, I grew up in a prep school. I have seen that shit. Like, a snowplow parent, oh, little Johnny has to do his homework and he doesn't know what to do. Okay, well, I'll do the homework for him.
No. Listen, Johnny. Get the fuck in there. You're not gonna eat until you do it. See,
Like-
there was that level of parenting where my parents were like, "Oh,
The belt and the slipper. Yep.
belt, slipper, get
Any
yanked by
style,
my
anything
ear."
in her hand, get your ass whooped.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're not in college and you're 12 years old? You fucking slacker.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh,
My mom
got
was
it.
that ham.
No, she was not that ham.
My mom
No,
didn't
no.
go that ham,
I had tiger parenting.
Oh,
So I was already like taking college courses at 12. So
Do you feel? How do I say it? Do you feel? I don't want to say like grateful because it's like what, you know what I mean.
I'm
You know what I'm trying to
moder-
word.
I'm moderately
Do you feel
grateful.
like okay,
Like,
thank you, but that's
my-
fucked up.
my mom and my dad definitely had the best of intentions by making me go to 3 schools at the same time or, do college level courses when I was still in middle school. Of all the brain cells that still survive from my partying days, I'm sure that I was much smarter back in the day. Do I think it was the healthiest way to go about it? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Sometimes kids just need to be kids. Sometimes kids just need to have friends and blow off steam. Sometimes parents need to work on giving kids enough freedom to explore who they are rather than just, cramming them with books. As much as, like, I appreciate a lot of the skills I have, I definitely think that a lot of tiger parenting kids, they don't end up that good.
Like child actors.
Oh man, like, I mean, I'm not gonna name names, but I've known people who are products of tiger parenting who are now in prison. And
Of course, because society doesn't conform to their rules because there are no
no,
rules
like
for-
n-
and-
like they freaking snap.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's like, oh no, I could do what I want because my parents are gonna, and it becomes in their psyche. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Everything is in somebody's psyche, and their normal way of thinking becomes normalized to the point where back to the Lizzo, back to cancel, back to everything to bring it full circle. Confirmation bias.
I'd say watch The Boys. You'll figure out what happens. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Watch The
Yeah.
Boys. You watch The Boys?
What the fuck are y'all talking
I've
about?
watched clips. I've seen.
Oh, you,
that.
you haven't seen the show yet. You haven't seen the show all the way through.
Watch The Boys.
Yeah.
What
It's comic
streaming
book. It's
services on?
Or just
Amazon
like,
Prime.
look at the byproducts of dance moms, and you got like Honey Boo
Yeah,
Boo.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you even look at Paris Hilton.
Don't get me
Well,
started on dance
yeah.
moms and shit like that, which is so crazy.
Dude, that
They're
is
like
that is a thing.
5 years old. I don't know how old these little girls are.
They're
Oh
like-
wait,
bless
Netflix did a whole show about that, and they
Yeah.
just got like fined
Oh,
for it.
cuties.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
That's
so
a
glad
thing.
that thing got like
But it's
you
still
know.
on there.
they
It's still on there.
yeah they took they could pay for it basically. They paid for that they paid that fine basically.
There is
I'm
no
s-
fine.
Was
I'm
it a fine?
sorry,
I thought they-
but,
what, didn't
like-
they get charged with something?
No, there's
They-
nothing. It was either take it off or not, and they lost subscribers. Sure,
know that for
Netflix
damn sure.
lost subscribers.
That thing
And
is
I
such an
get it.
affront to everything I believe in. Like I'm all for like freedom of expression, but the concepts that they were talking about were so poorly designed and so poorly convinced that like I'm sorry. if you want to talk about like the loss of innocence, and if you want to talk about how kids feel objectified and over sexualized, freaking bring in a panel of me and some of my close friends. Like, literally talk to the girl who was a stripper at 18 years old. Talk to the girl who at 21 years old still fucking felt scared in front of some of her clients when she was a fetish model. Talk about that. Talk about, oh, well, when you were a teenager, you're expected to be sexy, but not too sexy. But if you are sexy, that's great. But if you want to actually have friends, like, it's this really sick double standard. Have a panel of that shit. Don't fucking put kids on camera and make them do that shit.
And dancing on some wild shit.
No, it's like the dancing wasn't even the issue for me.
But it's the over-sexualizing of the... Where it was like, this is my thing. If you were to take those girls and make them into grown women...
That would have been fine.
It would have been fine. But...
They still would have been ridiculed.
No. All right. You're going... Just stick with the kid aspect.
Fine. All right.
Right?
Going back.
Mr. Captain Literal Man.
All right, going
Listen,
back.
if you were to take any movie... Coyote Ugly.
Ridiculed.
Right?
Tacky.
But listen. Coyote Ugly. And make it with 12-year-old girls. How disgusting is that movie?
I want to thank you for helping me stick to my diet, because I just lost my dinner and I have not even eaten it yet.
And now I have that image in my head.
I'm not saying I agree. I
Very
don't want
much
people to
so.
think that I agree with this. I'm anti-cuties. I'm
100% anti. Like,
yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Right? So imagine that. So now they make this movie, but why?
why are
ask the director.
some
Nobody needs to see
Who
that.
put the green light for this one?
It's another country, though.
I don't fucking care.
No, I don't care. But I'm saying...
Was it?
Yeah, it was France.
I didn't watch it,
Yes,
so I didn't.
It's France. No, neither did I. I just... Listen, I don't watch TV. I listen to podcasts. Obviously, I have a podcast.
And I read all the damn day.
All I do is listen to podcasts. I listen to Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz and everybody else. Bobby Lee, shout out. I want to shout out all of them, even though they're not paying me for it.
Right.
But that's what made me want to be what this is, right? But I don't agree with that. I don't agree with any of that. So get that shit the fuck out of here. Nobody needs to see that.
Nobody wanted to see it.
But this is my thing. This is my thing. People will shut down cuties and Netflix. Right?
They ain't shutting down Netflix.
As they should.
Yeah.
But these same people should be in Austin, Texas.
Guys?
Am I too loud?
No, it's not that. We need to take a quick pause. There's apparently something going on at my house.
All right.
Oh, we could.
All right.
We go pause. We're back. But, oh shit. Maybe I Right, because who gives a shit, right?
I actually still heard you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your voice carries, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A little loud. You went stone face right there.
Like I did that, right? I had like 1 millisecond left before I broke down the laughter.
Pretty much. I had to mention it before you broke down, yeah.
Because I was about to lose character.
Yeah.
I was about to break character.
But we were over a time limit that we usually do, so yeah.
Yeah, because this is fun. Hopefully you come back, right?
I would love that.
Right? Hopefully you come back because the conversation is intriguing and this is very fun and enlightening, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about... Do you remember what we were talking about?
Words escape me for
culture.
once.
It was cancel culture and all
Yeah.
that. This is what I mean. I'm down with the bullying. I'm not down with bullying.
No, we were talking about
I take that
weird.
back. See? That's
see,
the thing. I'm
yeah,
not down
wow,
with bullying.
man.
I am down with the canceling of bullying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I am not down for the participation trophies.
Fair enough.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no, everybody's not a winner. Everybody's not a fucking winner. I'm sorry. I don't care that you're 7 years old playing football. If you lose, you lost.
That sounds awful what we're talking about, but still.
No, it's not. Because it goes to the same thing when it comes to kids because they groom it into society where everybody is supposed to win. And everybody is not supposed to win.
Fair enough.
I'm going to point out something. losing is actually one of the nicest things that can happen to you.
Damn right.
Correct. This is what I mean. But if you take that away from somebody, they don't know what losing feels like.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to try. Like, I didn't finish my statement on Lizzo, which I'm not picking on it, but what I'm saying is, and body shaming and all that, I am okay with loving who you are. But healthy and not healthy and the levels of like how you say something, context again is everything. So how you don't bully anybody. Don't bully somebody. But also we cannot just say live your best life, bruh.
Sometimes
Who
living your
cares if
best
you-
life is not that good an idea.
That's what I mean. So it's like, what? So where do we draw the line? Because if you could eat whatever you want to eat and be 1,000 pounds and clogged arteries, it is not healthy. We all know this. This is scientific facts. It is not healthy. Now, if we just say, you can't say nothing to them because it's not nice. If you can say it in a way that is not mean, it's like, hey, listen, I love you, T. I think you're not sleeping
The
enough.
fuck, man? Yo,
What?
What's going on?
Kinky.
No.
What?
Kinky,
No,
I ship
no,
this.
No.
I'm saying, like, imagine, I'm like, yo, T, you're
I'm
not
fucking with you, by
sleeping
the way.
enough. You're working too hard. I need you to take a break, fam. You're
All right, I'm gonna stop doing the
overrunning
podcast.
yourself,
I mean, shit.
right? So now you're overworking yourself. That is a healthy way to tell you, listen, you're doing too much. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
So now
actually,
if I-
Jose said the same thing to me when we started the podcast.
Right.
yeah.
So now, if I tell somebody who is not eating healthy, who is not working out, who is overweight, if I can say it in a nice way, like, listen, I'm concerned that I don't think for longevity that this is a good way to do it. You don't do it on Instagram. You don't do it on Facebook. I pull you aside as my friend and be like, hey, this is how it should.
I see that shit a lot with substance abuse. Like 99% of the time, people know that they're not doing good by themselves. They know that they're not. They know like there's gonna be like a risk that they're taking, whether it's overeating, undersleeping, overworking yourself, you know, doing that one line of coke or whatever. There's always gonna be a penalty, and it's okay to just like bring it up and be like, "Listen, man, you gotta stop that." Or
Yes. But
listen,
if you say that, you're wrong.
well, here's the thing. It's about the delivery. If you say it once, fine. That's fine. Most people want to hear, okay, you know what? I'm not sure if I agree with that. I'm not sure if I want to do that. What they don't want to necessarily do is they don't want to be browbeat about it. So like
Hear
if
over
you
and over and over again, yeah.
if you have a friend who is not treating their body right, and I say this as somebody who, you know, does struggle with substance abuse issues, who has been overweight for a while and who has been an anorexic, instead of just like having that talk repeatedly, be like, guide them away from it in a subtle way. Be like, hey, bro, like I know that we haven't hung out for a while. I know that you've been overeating a little bit, but you know what? Fuck that shit. Let's go to the mall. Let's walk. Or, hey, yeah, you know, like I myself have been trying to cut down on drinking. I know that this is kind of like asking much from me, like, but while we're drinking, do you mind like not drinking as much so that, you know, like I feel that'll make me feel more comfortable. But hey, like let's have a good meal still.
Yeah, instead of being like, we're drinking too much.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's such a delicate line that
Yep.
I feel like we got to a point where even if I were to say it in a normal way, in a non-bully way, it is still a problem. And we, like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, I am all for living your best life, but I am also for people being like, that's not healthy. Because it might not be healthy for everybody.
Right.
It's easy to say, let her or him be as big as they want to be. Sure. If they survive.
But some people can't control
But
it. That's
some
another
people
thing. Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And then you put the battery in their back.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, well, I'm going to be that big. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not built the same way. You're not going to be able to handle their lifestyle.
Everybody's different.
Let's just take a look at my 600-pound life. That is a very good example of what happens when you have people who cannot control themselves or who have people who are enabling them. Like, if you care about a person and you know that they're doing stuff that's not cool, don't enable them. Make them work for whatever vice they have that they can't control. You know? Like, if you see people who, you know, they're, let's just say it's cigarettes. Be like, okay, well, I'm sorry, man. Like, the only time I can hang out is at this non-smoking venue. You're free to, like, smoke whenever else, but... And if it really, like, disappoints you that much, or if it really upsets you to see people, like, wreck their bodies in that way, just pull them aside and be like, listen, man, I can't be around you anymore because I'm scared that I'm going to end up having to bury you. Sometimes that will be the call to Jesus that some people need.
Correct.
But at the same time, are people going to end up feeling slighted some type of way? Of course.
Yes.
Like, that's just human nature.
Yeah, it's inevitable. You're going to feel...
Some type of way.
You're going to feel some type of way about, regardless of anything that you do, or somebody doesn't like it, or they don't agree with it, you're going to feel pressure. You're going to feel belittled. You're going to be like, why are they talking down to me? And they can have all the purest intentions in the world, right? But if you don't want to hear it, it doesn't sound good. Anything that you don't want to hear, obviously, doesn't sound good. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, fuck this guy. Here we go again with the, don't drive that fast. Hey, I got the wheel. Don't worry about me. I'm driving fast, bro. You're not driving, I'm driving. Sit down for the ride or don't hop up in the whip.
There you go.
You get what I'm saying? Like, this is what I do. But there also comes to the point where if I was that guy behind the wheel driving fast, I don't get mad when somebody's like, yo, you're driving too fast.
Oh, a lot of people do.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They do. That's the problem. This is what I mean. We can no longer say anything that we kind of want to say. This is why this podcast, thank God I don't get paid for this. Because you can't cancel me. What are you going to take? I got
you find another platform. No big deal.
I don't even care about any of that either.
But I'm going to go back on track. We're supposed to be closing out.
We're going to close out. See, I can't. I go on tangents.
On a rant, yeah.
Right.
Speaking of overeating, does anybody want me to order pizza?
We could eat.
Yeah?
If you don't got to leave, we'll close this out. We'll get some food. We'll cool out. Right?
All right.
But this conversation, you're very intriguing. I'm sorry to point. This is
You are very intriguing. How dare you call me interesting?
No, right? No, this is my problem. Somebody told me.
How dare you?
Somebody told me I point a lot, and it's condescending.
You do, actually.
It's not condescending.
But it's like it's my.
To some, it might be.
To some, once again, see nuance. Right?
True. Context.
I do that to be like.
You pointing at me
I
now.
love you, bro. Right? Like it's like you talk about you. Thank you. Right? That's what I mean by pointing. But anyway, hopefully you come back.
Oh, of course.
I could do this for 7 hours. Doesn't matter to me. We're gonna schedule something. We're gonna have like a part 2, a part 3, a part 4. Right? Now, is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Ooh, that's the first?
Probably my cell phone, but.
Are you Droid or iPhone?
I'm an Android person, but as far as plugs go, please check out my friend Wild Tuna's Hip Hop Since 1987. It is an amazing podcast. Please check out my friend Jem Stoned. She does amazing psychic readings, and she's also an amazing porn star. Check out Lasha Lane, Rex Wamming, the Sierra Slater, Damian Slater. Check out Critic magazine because they're an amazing porn magazine, and you get to see all sorts of cool people. Don Juan DeMarco, I love you too. Scope Elements, my husband, the DJ, Ajax Beats, NYC Ravers. Just check out all of my friends. Oh, and Schneif the Yak and his girl Other Weirdly. I think I covered most of the bases. I'm just not sure. If I didn't plug you yet, please just plug yourself somewhere, I guess.
In the comments?
Yeah.
Plug yourself in the comments so people can see it. I'll get your information for the description. We'll put all your social media, the magazines and articles that you write. We'll put that all in there.
Sounds good.
While we munch on this pizza, which is good. Once again, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
T.
Yo.
Thank you for introducing me.
Been telling you.
That was a good call.
I'm telling you.
That was a good call. I always
Thank
trust
you.
you. I don't really trust you, but I trust you.
Yeah, we had to talk about this before. Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna do another podcast on why I don't like you, right? But
Shit, I'm
That's
gonna do a whole
it,
nother
yeah.
podcast where I don't like you.
you know what, bro? You're done, right? So no.
Far from it.
Nah, thank you, bro.
Now,
I really do
boys.
love you. I really do love you, bro. Yo, all right. AWOL podcast.
Peace.
Check it out. We're gonna be in the description.
Cheers.
All the
Cheers.
info, and we out of here.